Hello folks and welcome to this UK tour series. We are back in the Just Like Piper Arrow and we're now in Scotland. In fact, we're at Dundee and we're going to be heading to Edinburgh, touring over the castle, the Parliament buildings and the Forth Bridges. But first of all, I thought I'd show you around Orbx style Dundee Airport. I actually reviewed this in X-Plane not so long ago. So I'm quite curious to see what it looks like in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So we're going to be in drone mode in a moment, and we're in 2D mode, but we'll be heading into VR very shortly. But yeah, I'm just going to pan around here and check out what this airfield looks like in the new sim. And we'll also go into drone mode, which, if I can remember how to do it, there we go. We're actually flying around at the moment. So here we go, this is a nice panoramic view. So what do you get for the sort of Microsoft Flight Simulator version? Well, to be honest, I'm a bit disappointed, guys, because it's a bit of a downgrade on the X-Plane 11 version. And why is that, guys? Well, I'll tell you. Basically, we had quite a few points of interest, and Dundee itself was modelled quite well. We don't have that in this new version, which is a shame. We do get a bit of custom ortho, and you can see here that the custom areas of ortho, like here, are quite glaringly obviously better resolution than the sort of surrounding boundary, which is already good anyway. But so that's nice that you get a few little areas of custom ortho. But we had a few stadiums, we had like a tower, and a few other sort of buildings that are just not here in this version, and it's the same price. So I was a little bit miffed by that one, to be honest. We also had oil rigs in the X-Plane 11 version, which were right over there. They've disappeared, and I think I know why they've done that. Because the X-Plane 11 versions of the oil rigs were pretty low sort of detail, and I think they would have been slated if they would have added them in. But it's a shame they couldn't, I don't know, make a new model of that particular point of interest, because it's quite prominent in the skyline around Dundee area. So yeah, not all good news here, I'm afraid to tell you. The bridges are very nicely modelled actually, and we have a Tesco's around here somewhere, which is you can see on approach. Some of this ortho is very nice, but don't forget, guys, that the ortho in the default sim is very good anyway. So it's kind of hard to tell what is Orbx and what isn't. But I have a feeling around here might be custom ortho. The bridge here is very nicely modelled, I have to say, and the way it blends into its surroundings is also very nice. We're just going to pan into the back to the airfield, and also I've noticed that the football sort of pitch here doesn't have the goalposts, which I was really impressed with in the X-Plane 11 version. I know these are nitpicks, guys, but you know what I'm like. I like to see detail. And it just shows you that they've gone that extra mile. But I don't feel like they have quite gone that extra mile with this. This feels like a port. And I think Orbx have kind of been accused a little bit recently of just porting over a lot of their work from various sims. And you know what? That's fine. But I think they should probably just highlight that in their sort of feature set. That you could just say, well, you know, this airfield rather is just a port. Still very nicely detailed. It looks really nice still, but it's not quite the level of detail of, say, a brand new Microsoft Flight Simulator product. That's my opinion anyway. Having said that, as you can see here, the detail is still very, very nice. The textures are lovely and crisp. In fact, I think they're a little bit crisper than the X-Plane versions, but I think that's just the engine itself. Because I know the Vulkan API in X-Plane can make the textures look a bit blurry. So I don't think that's Orbx increasing the textures as such. I just think it's the way it's presented in the new sim. We've got an Amazon building here, so maybe your brand new 1390 is currently on its way from here. Who knows? Hopefully. Or your HP Reverb G2. But overall, I think it's a very nice rendition. It looks good. And at the time of this recording, I actually bought this on sale. It was about £6-7, so you know you can't complain too much. That's incredibly cheap. See the nice PBR shine on that on the roof there, and of course the all the placards and you know, signage. It's all very, very sharp. Although Flyby, unfortunately, it won't be flying from here anytime soon. now that they've gone under. Very sad. But yeah, it looks nice. Some of the that's really impressive. Look at that. You can see the that is incredibly sharp. That's very impressive. So definitely a worthy airfield on to your collection. But I would recommend, if you do pick it up when it goes on sale. I think that's probably the best way to get the most value for money here. Right, anyway, let's head into VR and we'll start the aircraft up and get going. So welcome aboard the Piper Arrow in VR. Now just to say, in fact you probably already know this, Microsoft Flight Simulator, the Asobo team have released a hotfix to address a number of performance issues, particularly during when you're near large airports. There's a bit of stuttering that goes on, but I think there's been more than that. I think they're actually playing it down because it seems to be running even smoother now than it was before, and I'm still using the 457-30 NVIDIA driver, and I'll let you know, guys, if I change that at any point, okay? But just so you know, I will always be using that driver unless things dramatically change. And with all my test flights I've been doing, it's made a huge difference. It really is. I think that combination with the new performance update has really made this sim literally fly. But here are my settings, because I know you guys ask me this all the time. I've got my render scale at 100. That's giving me a resolution of 2552 by 2479. With OpenXR to 70%. I've got volumetric clouds on ultra. I've got buildings, trees, that kind of good stuff, all on high. Filtering's on 16 times. Windshield effects ultra, but a few other things on medium, like light shafts. Reflections on high. Water effects on high. I really love the water effects in this sim. In fact, I've got a bit of a fascination now with buying airfields next to the sea because I just love flying over the water on approach. It's really spectacular. Anyway, with that being said, I think it's time to start up this beautiful aircraft, which has actually had another update. You can now use a checklist system. We won't be doing that today, but I have used it and it's very, very good. I'm very impressed with Just Flight, how they keep just improving on this aircraft. As the days go on. I mean, I think it's only been released about a week or so, and already we've had 3 updates, which has made a massive difference, including the zoom element here, which is fantastic. I love that. But to be fair, in the Reverb G2, I don't really need to zoom in anywhere on this aircraft because it's so pin sharp. Right, anyway, with that also being said, I think it's now time to start this baby up. Right, battery's on, fuel is on the desired tank. We're going to prime the engine, mixture fully rich, fuel pump on, beacon on. See there, that warning has now gone, so the engine is now primed, fuel pump off, put the alternator on as well. Whoops, wrong button. I said that a lot, don't I? Whoops, wrong button. The kind of sentence you don't want to hear your pilot saying ever in the real world. So we've got throttle cracked, prop is fully forward, everything's looking good. I think we can go for an engine start. And I'm not going to say clear prop because I sound like an idiot. There she goes. Beautiful. Right, okay, so we'll let the T's and P's warm up a little bit, and I'll meet you as we begin to taxi out of Orbx Dundee. What is it with these ground crew? Honestly, they've got a death wish. It's getting a little late in the day. By the way, another thing I've noticed with all my Orbx airports, and that they have 2 windsocks. That's obviously a bug. Please, Orbx, if you're watching this, we'd really appreciate a fix for that, because clearly it's a problem with most of your add-ons at the moment. Right then, I'm not going to mess around here. We're just going to landing light on, fuel pump on, strobes on, everything's looking good. Let's go. We are airborne.
Orbx Dundee disappearing below us. Oh man, I love flying over the sea, over the water in this sim, it's beautiful. We're actually not using real world weather today, simply because it's absolutely atrocious at the moment. We've got winds of 35 knots and rain showers, and you know, I do enjoy flying in those conditions, but because we're doing some VFR sightseeing, it wouldn't make much sense, to be honest. Right, fuel pump can go off. Landing light. And to stow our little tablet here, that will switch it off first. And then we'll press this button here. That helps with frame rate, by the way, if you are struggling for frames. And that bridge looks fantastic. Very well modelled, actually. It's a nice airfield, but as I say, I do feel that Orbx are starting to lag behind now in the quality department, and they've always been the leaders of quality and innovation. And at the moment, I don't know, I feel like they're being surpassed by other developers out there. I do have to say though, Orbx Newcastle is very nice indeed. Right, anyway, we're going to continue onwards, and I'll see you again once we get near to Edinburgh. Enjoy the views, guys. See you very soon. Okay, welcome back. So here we are, heading over to the Queen's Ferry Bridge and the Forth Railway and Road Bridge, looking very, very nice. Yeah, Gaia Simulations have done a fantastic job of these landmarks. So we'll just pull the RPM down a bit. What a treat this is, eh? Over that bridge a few times. So what we'll do, we'll just head over all three of them. We're not going to go under the bridge, guys, in case you're wondering. No, none of those kind of shenanigans today. Maybe we'll save that for another video. But yeah, this is very, very spectacular. So that's the new bridge there. Not so new now, but that is the newest of the three. A very distinctive railway bridge there. Can you imagine a Flying Scotsman going over that? Wow. That is very impressive. You really get a sense of the scale of these bridges as well in VR. Very, very believable indeed. And you can see here there's actually a castle, but that's a procedurally generated castle. How clever is that? It looks like a point of interest, but I don't think it is. Yeah, this is just a procedurally generated castle. I didn't even know you could do that. Very clever technology indeed in this sim, I'll tell you that. Look at that, pretty cool. Look at the water sparkling there with the reflections. That's because I have my reflections on very high, and over the water, oh, it sparkles like a treat. Okay then, so next port of call will be the Scottish House of Parliament, and then the Edinburgh Castle before we come into landing at Edinburgh Airport, which is not Orbx, unfortunately. I do have the X-Plane version of Edinburgh, Orbx version, and that is very nice, very detailed. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do in Microsoft Flight Simulator with that airport. So damn clear. You know, in the Reverb G2 I can see so far out there, thanks to the lack of screen door effect. And I'm going to have a video on the channel very soon of some tips and tricks of how to keep your view centered in the sweet spot, because I know that's one of the main complaints of this headset, is that the sweet spot is still a bit small. I think it's actually quite good compared to the G1, but admittedly, when you compare it to the Oculus headsets, you know, it is still on the small side. Okie dokie, right, so I think we're about where we need to be. The Scottish House of Parliament is somewhere around here. Let's just have a quick look on our map and sheet. Yeah, it's coming up to our right. So we'll just jump into the right hand seat. Our mate Andrew, who's coming on the tour with us, our co-pilot, he's not on this flight today. Said he wishes you all well and sorry can't make it, but you'll be there for the next one as we head to Oban, which will be a real treat. So yeah, I can see now the Parliament building there, so we'll just make a bit of a right here. Get nice and low. We've had special permission today. And there we go, look at that. Wowzers. And then just over here we have Edinburgh Castle, steeped in history, and if you're expecting me to now spout off a load of facts about Edinburgh Castle, you'll be very disappointed, because I don't know anything about it, sorry. I had been to Edinburgh Castle a couple of times, and yeah, it looks exactly like that. That's incredible. Look at that. Even the flags there waving and animated. That's incredible. And it's a procedurally generated church there and there. And there. And look, you've got a bit of a bridge there as well. God, this sim, honestly. And the performance is definitely improved. I think for me it's about the frame time and the projection. It just feels silky smooth. I've never really had an issue with like really bad pauses and stutters, but what is better is just the motion of the terrain is so smooth now. It's an absolute joy looking out the window. So whatever they've done at Asobo Towers, massive congratulations to them. I hope that's a sign of things to come in terms of optimizations. Right, anyway, we need to now radio into Edinburgh and let them know we're coming in for a landing. Going for a full stop landing.
Tower, Piper Golf. Bravo November Sierra Golf is 4 miles east with Quebec to land.
I love flying low like this over
Golf.
trees.
Bravo November Sierra Golf.
Wow.
Edinburgh Tower. Mid straight to runway 24.
24, roger that.
29.9er, 2.2747. Piper November
Oh,
Sierra
okay.
Golf. Clear to land runway 24.
All ready for landing?
1274 at 7.
Clear to land runway 24 Piper November
Right, gear
Sierra
coming
Golf.
down. Prop fully forward, mixture fully rich, landing light on, fuel pump on. We're doing this a little bit late, but it's all good. And you know what, I have to say, for a default airport, Edinburgh looks really good. They've definitely paid a bit of attention to it. They've just messed around with it, just made it a little bit better. It looks very believable. I really like how there's like 3D cars everywhere, and some of the hangars and buildings look quite convincing. Now I'm very excited to say that the Sim Hangar, and I'm sure many of you guys know who he is, and if not, shame on you, he's a fantastic YouTuber. He has actually asked me to be his special guest for his next flying event in April. So I'll have more details nearer the time, but I hope some of you guys can join our flight. And I'm not sure if I'm going to live stream it, because it might be a bit tricky doing that as well. But I really hope you guys can come along, because we're going to sort of tie that in with a bit of a celebration of reaching 10,000 subscribers, which I cannot believe that. That's just incredible. So thank you to each and every one of you for your support. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, let's concentrate now. Don't need much flap here, really. I'll save that then. We were thinking a bit too much. That's a very good characteristic that they've modelled just right. Because the real Arrow, as soon as you let off the throttle, it starts sinking. Roger that, and that completes our little flight today. I hope you enjoyed that. The next one,
121.755 Piper November Sierra Golf.
We might actually rent out a Spitfire, as you do, for this next leg, as we're going to fly over. I think, yeah, we'll probably go over to Oban via sort of the Highlands. I think that would be really spectacular. So, yeah, stay tuned for that flight. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And I'll see you all again, as always, very soon. Bye-bye for now. Take care. This will do nicely, I think. And there we go. Beautiful.